Streaming from Madison, Wisconsin and Minneapolis, Minnesota. Straight to your personal devices. Available on all major platforms and YouTube. This is the Armchair Analysts podcast. And here are your hosts, Ace and Johnny.
Nuck if you buck, son. Nuck if you buck, son. Nuck if you buck, son. Yes. This is not the after party. This is Armchair Analysts. We're going with somewhat of a special edition because, of course, Johnny's Bucks did it. How many did they do it in? Hold it up again. How many did they do it in? 6.
BUCKSIN6. BUCKSIN6.
BUCKSIN6.
Dude.
Got his voice back, we think. Hopefully it doesn't run out midstream, just like the Suns playoff. Nah, not fair. They played well, but they did 4 straight, losing 4 straight. It's kind of tough to shake off, especially at the end of the season. And congratulations is due to your Milwaukee Bucks.
Doing your 2021 NBA champion World Bucks, sir.
Oh, good. Forgot that is the world too. It's like,
well, I mean, it's awkward to say that because the Olympics are actually going on, so you can't really say it. But yes, fear the effing deer, BUCKSIN6, etc., etc. I was very, very fortunate to be able to go to not 1 but 2 Bucks playoff games this season. And I gotta tell you, man,
didn't disappoint.
It was borderline diehard fandom / financial irresponsibility to go to the closeout game, but you know what? It was, as a lot of people said, like, I wouldn't worry about it. It's a once in a lifetime, maybe rare occasion. So I am happy that I did it. It was insane to see not just the Deer District, but like just see the fans at the parade today. You know, like it's. I was
live streams, by the way, for the
parade. Yeah. I watched the live stream while I was at work. I had it on my second monitor. I'm telling. I feel so bad because I worked from home yesterday because I got home at like 3:30 ish. So wasn't gonna be able to get up at 7 for work, but worked from home yesterday and also I had no voice, so made a couple calls a little awkward, but. I got asked if I had a cold, if my phone had bad reception, etc. No, it was just squeaky and couldn't.
Hey, only once in a lifetime, or at least 50 years that they'll be in the.
One of the clients was like, hey, that you got to see history. Congratulations. I'm like, yeah, it was something else. But I felt bad because there was multiple people that came in my office today and they were asking me, like, how was it? And like, I felt no matter what I said, it couldn't do it justice. Like, any picture I could send, any words I could use, I could not capture that, like, particular moment or the whole evening. Like, there's no way. It's indescribable. I'm 32 years old. I have seen 3 championships. I've seen 2 Green Bay Super Bowls, and not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just saying this is 3 in 32 years. So it was a big opportunity, and I am absolutely ecstatic that I was able to go. Not just see the Bucks close it out at home in Milwaukee for a championship, but I was able to go with 2 of my best friends. So that also is very, very special to me. So that's gonna be a tough memory to beat. I know I'm getting married in the fall, but like that's gonna be a tough memory to beat out. So
I was gonna say this is a jam-packed second half of the year for you,
right?
For 2021.
COVID restrictions are up, and we're coming out the gate, son.
Same. I love it. I have so many questions for you too, which is sort of like you said. I don't know if it's going to actually do it justice, but we'll get into the game. We'll get into all that. Obviously, this episode is going to be a little bit different, Bucks heavy, NBA basketball heavy. We might sprinkle in a few NFL tidbits that have come out, but I think for the most part, we're going to be talking. You know, what rarely happens in sports is your freaking team winning. And Midwest small market teams in general. So I don't really know where you want to take it from here. I guess we can recap the game to start. But Johnny's in the best mood ever. So you guys should definitely watch this episode. If I could put a quick plug in, definitely watch this because he's going to be dancing and grooving all night. More than his wedding, actually. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I ain't dancing at my wedding. This is it for me. I don't care about a random rant. We can just get right into the nuts and bolts if you want to. I mean, I know.
Do you have any random rants for the game? Actually, was there anything that like early on? I know the crowd outside. I don't think any of them trickled in, but was there? Maybe Uber, the cost. Well,
if you want like the, so I didn't want my car. As soon as they're like, yeah, there's gonna be like 65, 70 plus thousand in the Deer District. I'm like, I don't want my car anywhere near that because A, it's gonna be absolute insanity trying to get out of there when I do decide to leave, and B, I mean, I saw what happened after the Packers won the Super Bowl. Like it was chaos. It was absolute mayhem. So I was like, you know what, I'm okay with my car being, 5-10 miles away from the action. So I actually parked outside the city and Ubered in, and I mean, they did the surge charging, it was like $70 each way, but I mean, car was safe, and I'm sure parking wouldn't have been cheap either. So, but that's the thing. It's like you're not even looking at your credit cards. Don't worry about that. That's next month John's problem. That's not something I need to worry about.
Okay, let's start off with this. When was the moment when you knew they were going to win it? Was it literally at the end, like final whistle, or?
Man, like you were saying, I mean, the Suns obviously a fantastic team, and they wouldn't let that game go until probably within like 3 minutes. Like all of a sudden, like you could see like Booker could not hit a three. They weren't really creating anything inside. The energy on the Bucks.
Oh, nothing.
On the Bucks like that. I think that second to last block really just kind of deflated them. Couple awkward turnovers, bunch of missed shots. They started missing free throws. Like it just started kind of crumbling. And I think like once it hit like that 3-minute mark, it's like, okay, this actually could be a thing. But then they wouldn't go away quietly. So that's part of it too. Like it shaves a few years off your life because your anxiety is just skyrocketing through the roof. It's like. We had like multiple opportunities to put it away a little bit earlier. Like there's a couple open shots that were missed. I think Patty C missed one. Khris Middleton missed one. But I mean, Cash, as always, like you needed that clutch bucket just to keep it out of reach, and he drained it. We were really scared because it's like there's at the beginning of the fourth quarter there was nobody else on the team putting buckets in other than Giannis, right? Absolutely. I didn't think we could, but it was such a low-scoring game because of the first quarter. I mean, everyone's nerves were on all-time high. I mean, I think it was halfway through the first quarter, and it was like 8-6 or something. It was insane. Like people were just making horrible passes, bad shots, like not even getting good looks, just chucking, and it just So I think it was probably with a few minutes left. It's like, okay, like this, we can put this away. We can actually make this happen, and. After that, like I mean, the crowd was never quiet. By the way, like my voice was shot probably by a little after halftime at the latest. And we were in the upper bowl, but we were in the first row, so we had like this.
Sweet.
We had like a layer of glass, so we were just banging on the glass, just screaming, like, and I don't know.
Wait, they put glass up.
Huh?
Oh, just they put glass
yeah. So it's like there's just like a little bit of glass just in case if you're smaller you can still see through it. I guess I don't know, but I mean I'm surprised we didn't break that glass or at least crack it. We were just slamming on it, screaming and hollering, and a couple shirts in our row might have come off and we were swinging them above, getting excited. But I mean it was really special, and I don't know. Again, words fail me at this point. So
you're gonna have to update your background, clearly.
Well, that's what sucks. Like the Buck stuff's on this side. You can't actually see the Buck stuff.
Yeah, I know. Some might have to change.
I mean, even the Brewers stuff you can't see, but. And I gotta say, this is completely random, but the Bucks have some really sick championship merch. Like if I didn't just spend my rainy day fund for the game, I would probably drop a good 100+ on some merch because they got some sweet stuff. So
did they hand anything out at the game?
I got a shirt, but it's like "Go Bucks Go" or something. It's really lame. I actually ended up using it as a napkin because I got some street side wings with my buddy when we were waiting for the Uber. I used it as a napkin. It was a really ugly shirt, but whatever. We used it as a towel to swing over our heads during the game.
I thought the shocking thing was DeAndre Ayton basically went his offensive production the last like 4 games was just non-existent. And the ball movement by the Suns, it was ISO ball for the most part. They took them way out of their game plan, and I don't know if that was the Bucks defensive strategy with like Holiday guarding Paul more and just trying to pressure him all up and down the court, whether it's him or Tucker or Middleton. But
Jrue and PJ covering their backcourt. I mean,
yes,
we'll listen to PJ's speech later, but Milwaukee got dogs. Like they were. You could tell Booker was so off. Like Booker had multiple he had 3 straight 40 games in losses or something. Yeah. And like he literally did not hit a 3. I think he was like 0 of 8 or something. And like he still made like great contested shots, but like when it came down to the end of the game, yeah, like Ayton was pretty much a non-factor. Giannis had 5 blocks, probably could have had 2 more that were called fouls instead, which also outraged the crowd. And watching, I think fouls notwithstanding, there was probably close to 10 blocks in that game. And if that doesn't mess with a shooter's psyche, I don't know what will. Like,
I think what was kind of funny after the game, Shaq called him out, basically making a reference to Superman. You're the only Superman now, or something like that, in a tweet or in whatever the post was. That 100% fits Giannis. That dude, I've never seen somebody as tenacious on both sides of the ball in a while, especially for that superstar level. Like, you think Kevin Durant, not to throw him out, but do you think him, James Harden, anybody on the Bucks is playing, or anybody on the Nets is playing defense? No.
See, that's the thing too. It's like a lot of people are talking smack. It's like, oh, we got the Nets at like half capacity or whatever. It's like, if you're gonna put 3 injury-prone superstars together that don't play defense, big shocker when they aren't ready to go come playoff time and they can't defend the other side of the court. Jrue Holiday is, if not the best, top 3 player on both ends of the court. Like, you know what? I mean, the dude did not have an offensive game in Game 6, but it didn't matter. But, like, yeah, having two-way players, like, their defensive rankings in the playoffs were insane. Everything's top 5. Everything's top 5.
That makes sense.
If not top 3. It's absolutely crazy.
I just got reminded of this because they won. I won that prop bets thing we did way back by picking the Bucks. And remember how we thought picking those, that was a joke that I took them last at plus 1,000. They were plus 1,000 to win the title at that point.
And I think I've even said numerous times, like, that Nets series was probably the biggest challenge for them. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like the Hawks are pushovers, but I feel like matchup wise, just because, like, DiVincenzo was out, we did not have perimeter D for all 3 of them. Fortunately, they only had to worry about 2, but I mean, still, even half of a Harden was pretty scary. So
imagine putting $100 on that jokingly if I was true to my word and bet on half of these prop bets. I thought Giannis, like, it was funny. I shouldn't say it's funny because Middleton deserved recognition for MVP. That all was silenced after that. Like, halfway through this game, that was 100% silence. Giannis came out like he should have and just absolutely dominated. And I think seeing that just proved what an absolute dominant superstar he is.
The biggest performance from our biggest player on the biggest stage.
Yep. Closeout game, everything.
It was an absolutely monumental performance. And the thing is, we've been talking about how gassed and how tired and just how he's been he checked out of games. His knee. That not even thinking of that. How it looked like his season and possibly part of next season. After that happened, like I said, there was a cumulative just silence, a hush in the entire state of Wisconsin because we just watched championship dreams possibly fall apart. Misses 2 games. Khris comes up with amazing performances. Close out that series. Couple days rest. Still Giannis maybe 50% at best. Upgrade to doubtful. All of a sudden, he passes the pregame checks. Boom, he's playing. And I swear, and I think I told you this multiple times. Every single time that he went up for a rebound or he went up for a jam, I saw him come down like, no.
All the dental work.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that not even considering that part of the playoffs, this finals alone, like, it was just absolutely magical. So, but again, not taking anything away from Middleton. I mean, the thing is, it's like when the game's on the line, you're not giving Giannis the ball to shoot a long two or a three.
True.
Like, if you needed a clutch shot, Middleton was the guy. And for all the people, including myself, that said, you know what, maybe Middleton's not the number 2 we need to get to the championship, I'm gonna get a full plate of crow and I will feast it. I will eat that crow because the dude just shut everybody up. He didn't need to have 40 points. He didn't even need to have 30 points. He had 17 points, but he did it, and he contributed on defense as well. A lot of people forget how good he is on defense as well. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I kind of looked at this game 6 as like it basically, Giannis, do your thing for 3 quarters because we got cash. We got Middleton down the stretch if we need him, pretty much. And it was that times 48 minutes or whatever, the full game basically is that fact of Giannis's performance. It was just one of the, honestly, so I heard a stat, it was him and I think Jordan are the only players in elimination games to put up 50. Antler up. So I mean, antler up to that.
Stupid sign, but yeah, I think they went through it. There was a few guys, I think we actually, when we were doing like our post game thing, like just trying to put into because if you walk out of that game, it's like, okay, he put up 50, he had 5 blocks, he's already had 2 40-point games, like absolutely phenomenal performance. But it's like,
what is this,
like
rank all time, or?
This might be one of the best closeout performances of all time. And so we started doing the Google thing, and I swear it's top 3. It's top 3. So, I mean,
I don't know what else is.
It's hard. It's hard to like put into perspective though. Like in the moment, like there was no way to really.
Correct.
There was no way to really like kind of process it because there's a lot of stuff going on, obviously, and how many weeks ago were we talking about like Bud just can't he just can't make these adjustments. He's not making the right calls. He's not making the right changes on defense. Like blah 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 blah. And you know what? You can lump me in there too because hey. I'm fine with being proven wrong. I'm totally okay with it. It took them a couple games. I'm not gonna lie. Like the way the Suns came out, and because we haven't played a team that's been that aggressive. It's not just how aggressive they are just on offense, how efficient they were in passing, but like the fast break. Like the first couple games, it literally felt like the teams were just sprinting back and forth, like the entire game. And you're wondering why Giannis is gassed. It's because you're playing a month and a half of playoff basketball, and then at the very end, you're playing one of the most aggressive fast break teams in the NBA.
And they can.
You might be a little tired. You might be a little tired.
And they shoot the lights out when they can, for the most part, and that's what was surprising to see is they lost that confidence. It seemed like over this series, Giannis was able to adjust his game from the start of the playoffs to the end. That was like crazy to see.
You really never saw the same game from him. Like never back to back.
17 of 19 free throws after Chris Paul basically shuns him, saying after the game 5, like everybody's, even himself, is counting him to miss.
There's a lot of good Giannis quotes about the free throws. There's a lot of good ones. And I think my favorite thing I saw on Twitter, yesterday, was that there was a couple bars in Milwaukee giving out free shots for every free throw Giannis makes. Yeah.
He lost a lot of money last.
Well, there's probably a lot of really jacked up people that night too if they kept up their word.
Yeah. Only in Milwaukee.
My gosh.
How much did you see outside? Because I know you sent some pictures. I was hoping to get some. Listeners, we did have one friend that was boots on the ground in the Deer District and got to party with some of the players afterwards at some of the bars around the Forum, which is pretty crazy. But I don't think we have video of that.
So one thing that was kind of hard to gauge is like you got to remember there were so many people there. Phone service was not really a thing for most of the game. Like I could barely send a text most of the time. I was trying to call people, trying to meet up with people. I think it took probably like 30 minutes for a tiny tweet to go out. Like there was just too many people, and then after the game, more people crammed in, just to help party and enjoy the victory. But yeah, it was a rough go. It probably took a half hour of trying to call / text us, Facebook message some friends to try to meet up with people. It was. I just took all the photos. I'm like, I'll have to post them later, I guess, or send them later. Like, Snapchat was barely working. Like, because everyone's trying to do the exact same thing I am.
Oh, absolutely.
All within like a tiny little, 5-mile radius. So it was.
Well, they're freaking. They're. I don't know why I needed to say freaking. Whatever. Their guest Wi-Fi in the stadium, I'm sure, was just completely overwhelmed.
Didn't even bother with it. Didn't even try it. Didn't even try it. Matter.
There was some fanfare, I heard. There's some celebrity sightings. Apparently,
Dave Chappelle, Gucci was there. Brandon Jennings was obviously there.
Robertson, Oscar. Hold on. Before we get into those guys, what are your thoughts on Brandon Jennings getting all this treatment? I know he's the one. Do you want to explain the whole BUCKSIN6? I'm
pretty mixed on it. I mean, because the thing is, it's like that. There's no sugarcoating it. Those were some dark years for watching the Bucks. Brandon Jennings, kept the franchise alive. I mean, if that's not too big of a stretch, he kept people interested.
I didn't know he had this much love. Come to think of it,
it's hard. It's honestly, dude, it's hard not to be happy and like pleasant with everything after winning a championship. Like I said, you could put a knife in my heart right now and I'd still have a smile on my face. Like everything's gravy, man. Everything's gravy. But like BJ, you got to remember too, he was part of the trade that got Middleton from the Pistons to Milwaukee 8 years ago. So I mean the BUCKSIN6 thing just a part of it, but like he really kind of kept everybody afloat, during some not so great years. Brought him to the playoffs, got absolutely stomped.
Explain the BUCKSIN6 quick, because I don't know if people fully understand why we're highlighting it with Brandon.
So he actually, I don't know if you saw, but they went so far as to bring him up as like being the hype guy, for the beginning of the game. So before tip off, they have this massive drum that some person, not randomly selected, but they bring in someone just to bang it. Let's go Bucks. And they just bang that, getting everybody going right before tip-off, up until tip-off. You're just weighing on this drum, and it was Brandon Jennings. History of the BUCKSIN6 is really way back when they were playing the Heat in the playoffs, soon to be NBA champ Heat.
With LeBron.
With LeBron, yep. With LeBron. Wade, all those guys, and a very confident, I'll say, Brandon Jennings wasn't worried about, the rough start to the series, and he prophesized BUCKSIN6. And so it was kind of a meme at that point because they got swept by the eventual champs. Okay, kind of forgotten, went by the wayside. Bucks, again, going through that dark spell. And then now it kind of resurfaced in the Nets series because the Bucks lost the first 2 games. So mathematically, in order to win that, they would have to win 4 in a row, and it would be BUCKSIN6. So that's kind of where it got traction again, is after that second game. And then, obviously, they lost 2 to the Suns, and so mathematically they would have to win 4 in a row to win the series. So it just kept coming back, right?
There was such good karma around that BUCKSIN6 scene that it just... I don't think they would have lost. Like you said, there is no way I saw them losing this game 6. As much as, like... The Sun, like, I know both sides got to come out with the same sense of urgency. It was crazy how that kind of took a second life on.
That's another reason why I didn't feel too much remorse going to the game, because it's like, you know what, like, it would be very, very difficult. I mean, because we talked about it early, like, the Bucks are a fantastic team at home in the playoffs, which again is another testament to why. I mean, even in the regular season too, but that's why the bubble it wasn't a thing. It didn't work out, because they didn't have that home crowd. They weren't able to have, that crowd behind them and have that energy that they normally do in the bubble. So I'm not blaming that, but I'm just saying, like, they were the best team in the regular season before the COVID break. And they just never regained that momentum, and they weren't able to keep it at all in the playoffs. So, which added to the benefit that the first team that we beat and swept was the Heat, who knocked us out last year. So, and yeah, I don't. The BUCKSIN6 thing has been around, like, it came back with like full force, but like I remember it being a good hearty meme in 2019 too. After, well,
he did it to them.
Yeah, so it's good times, brother. Good times.
I'm thinking, like, should we go back to the celebrities or should we go into this either or? Because the either or kind of translates to the celebrities that were there.
It's hard because I wasn't really alive during most of them, so
yeah, I know.
It's not really. There's going to be some recency bias, but no, we can go for it. Go ahead.
Yeah, this either or segment is something that Johnny took flight about 3 weeks, couple weeks back, whatever the case. I love this actually. And what better way to do it than with the Bucks' recent championship here than to pair the top 3 players on their team against either or players of the other generation. So, of course, we have to start. Well, we'll start from the bottom. Now we hear. Oh, wait, where did I put the notes? There we go. We're going to start with Jrue Holiday or Brandon Jennings. I mean, this seems obvious. Like, you might just go chalk and pick all the current players based off what happened.
But this one's kind of weighted. It's weighted really odd because Jrue's only been with us for 1 season.
True.
Jrue's only with us for 1 season. Yeah, it was a very up and down season too, though. Like he didn't really kind of come into his own until, because that's the thing. It's like you're part of a new team, so it's like, what do you expect? Like he was a very, very, very good two-way player, but it's like, well, how is he going to fit into the system? Is he going to be okay getting less touches? What if he has to take more touches and can be able to convert them into points? He's not like the hack and slash, player that, that's really all Bledsoe had, right? He's a different player entirely. He's actually has a jump shot and can actually play consistent defense on the perimeter. That's Brandon Jennings. After TJ Ford, like, he's probably like the only other player. It's like him and Bogut, like, because Jennings and Monte Ellis, like, that was our backcourt. Like, that's
wow.
It's hard because, like, he got us through some tough times. Like, he kept the franchise churning.
Yeah.
So I think I have to go Brandon Jennings, bro. Gotta go BJ.
That makes sense. A part of me was thinking pair that with Michael Redd, but I don't think Michael Redd really. Yeah. Okay, here's actually next one: Khris Middleton or Oscar Robertson or Michael Redd.
But that's the same thing. Like, I wasn't alive for Big O.
Yeah, true. So then instead of O, let's do Michael Redd. I don't even know if Michael Redd can. Yeah, we'll do that. Khris Middleton or Michael Redd.
I think just because the resiliency of Khris, like, I think I have to go with him because, like, he has gotten so much hate after he got his big contract, and even before then, it's like he's not good enough. He can't be the number. I literally even said this in the beginning of the show. Like, he can't. People have always hated on him because he's like, oh, he's not good enough. He's not a dominant scorer. He's not this. He's not that. He's not clutch. Dude was cash. Like, that's a reason that's his nickname. He came up. He was as consistent as he could be.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you're not giving the ball to Giannis in those clutch situations. Sure, he can dominate 3.5 quarters, but like when it comes down to the wire, it's going to be him.
Mm-hmm.
So and Michael Redd never really got that opportunity. Like he was a volume scorer because there wasn't really many other people that could at that point. So you're comparing apples and oranges, but 8 seasons of Khris Middleton, and he's still surprising us, man.
So the last one is sort of tongue-in-cheek. It's Giannis or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
The all-time leading scorer or another future NBA Hall of Famer. Huh.
Well, and here's the thing. Kareem said earlier in the playoffs, the Bucks had no chance to win with this team. And
we talked about that so much on Tuesday. I honestly
think, yes, I think that lit a fire under them.
It's just a bad look, though, man. It's just a bad look.
Yes.
Would it have been so hard just to say, you know what, the Bucks are a very talented team and they could surprise people in the playoffs, or anything can happen in the playoffs. Like, leave it open-ended. You don't have to say that they have no shot. Like,
I thought
not that he
weird.
played here for a lot of years, but you still won up until Tuesday the only championship for this franchise.
Yeah,
better awareness. A heralded player that up until Giannis was never we never had anybody like that. Up until Giannis came into his own, that there was nobody even close to that caliber of player, and then he goes and just kind of disparages his name, and just kind of runs the team through the mud. I don't know, man. That didn't sit right with me. It really didn't. I mean, a lot of people have said a lot of shit over the course of this playoffs. I mean, what was Barkley's quote? He's like, you can. Oh, Perkins was But to his credit, though, Barkley said, I guarantee the Bucks win the championship, but they got to be the dumbest team in the finals. They're the dumbest team in the playoffs or something like that. He guaranteed they would win, but I don't know if that's on Bud that he said. I don't know where. I understand just because there were some really embarrassing games in that run, right? There was a couple games where I needed the bag over my head. It was just shameful stuff. But I really don't feel great that Kareem said that. Actually, it wasn't like a personal stab. It's just why hurt your own legacy? You already cemented as one of the all-time greats in the sport. The team you came up with, why I don't know.
Well, and I mean, speaking of celebrities, he was at the game too. So, I'm almost positive I saw.
I don't know.
Dave Chappelle was there. Was a
Dave Chappelle was there. Yeah.
Chappelle was the smallest dude in this picture, with Robertson. I thought Oscar Robertson. All these guys that I'm like, oh my god, there's Dave Chappelle way on the end. Jesus.
Hey, do you know what celebrity wasn't there though? Aaron Rodgers, part owner of the Bucks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're turning this into Green Bay stuff now. It's all right. We got 6 more days. 6 more days till training camp.
Yeah, where do you want to go with that? We both agree he's showing up.
You know what?
Frankly, your little rat friend Schefter doesn't really explain.
Dude, that article that he published, that news already broke in May. Yeah. It's not news, dude. He's just putting shit up there now. He's just throwing stuff at a wall at opportune times. It was literally the morning of the NBA Finals clinching game on Tuesday that came out. Not news. Again, not news. Even in the article it says it's not explicitly, but it's nothing new. It just said it happened in the off season. Yeah, it happened 2 months ago, bro. Oh, rat face. I cannot wait. The day that guy gets fired, oh my gosh, I will be so happy. I will be so happy. So useless.
All
right. Can we do a clip of the week?
Yeah, I was gonna say we can't really do a segue off of this. Let's get into the clip of the week though.
All right, we doing yours? Are we doing yours?
Which one, Giannis? Well, God, no, we'll do PJ.
All right,
first.
So I streamed the parade today, and there was a lot of good speeches. But PJ, the guy had 0 points in Game 6, and it didn't matter because he wore them down. He wore them down. He was doing his full press. He made a couple good plays, but most of the time, they literally say that in the beginning of this video, it's the guy we brought in to do the dirty work.
Yep.
And the thing is, it's he is the epitome of that person. He's that guy that's taking those screens head on and trying to still keep up with the ball carrier. The dude got bruised and battered and worn down. 0 points, and he still is. I hold him in such very high esteem. But his speech it really resonated with me. So let's take a peek at that. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
The dirty work, number 17, PJ Tucker.
Yo, PJ needs a minute. PJ, you said this group was full of some dogs. You said they were full of some dogs. How did they display that on this championship run?
You know, it's crazy. That's what everybody, like, when I came here, they're like, yo, you gotta, like, show, like, you gotta be the dog. And I'm like, we got dogs. Like, they just ain't, like, like, I got here, like, we already got dogs. They just don't know how to be dogs, and we gonna be dogs. And our dogs is crazy. We got dogs, you hear me? Milwaukee, we dogs.
You were emotional as that buzzer sounded on Tuesday, and you talked about all the trials and tribulations that have led you to this point. How sweet is the end, my friend?
You see all these. What? You can't make this up, man. These dudes, this organization, what we put together. You can't make this up. This ain't, nothing matter except what's going on right here, right now. That's all that matters. They say what they want, but they gotta say we champs.
Hey! One more swig for the crowd? One more swig for the crowd?
One.
PJ Tucker, everybody!
My boy was hammed up. He spoke from the heart. He spoke the truth.
I mean, it was a lot of repeating, but point taken.
It's just he did the dirty work, and I tell you, I have not seen anybody do it with more.
For anyone that
more
thinks
passionate. The guy is just so passionate, and it's like he made it very blunt and very simple. Like, they can say what they want, but they gotta call us champs. Like, you can say, we got lucky. We played injured teams, whatever. But that's great. But who's got the trophy?
That is the best part. You gotta call us champs.
Milwaukee, we dogs. Oh my gosh.
It's funny because we're gonna pair that with Giannis's post-game quotes at the podium, so still within the locker, or not the locker room, but still at the arena, the night of, after winning, and just
as a quick follow-up.
Yes.
When you re-signed your contract, your extension, I'm sure it was with this in mind. Well, could you imagine it happening for you the way that it's happened?
No. Man, I couldn't live. There was a job that had to be finished. I feel like the bubble did not pay us justice. We give credit to Miami Heat. They played great, but it did not pay us justice. Like, everybody was feeling homesick. We're a family-oriented team. We wanted to see our families, but coming back, I was like, this is my city. They trust me. They believed in me. They believed in us. Even when we were lost, the city still was on our side. And obviously, I wanted to get the job done. But that's my stubborn side. It's easy to go somewhere and go and win a championship with somebody else. It's easy. I could go. I don't want to put anybody in the spot, but I could go to a super team and just do my part and win a championship, still one. But this is the hard way to do it, and this is the way I chose to do it. And we did it. Fucking did it. We did it, man.
He's so polished at his age. It's kind of incredible.
26 years old, man.
I can't believe it. Oh, wow.
He's 26 years old. He's been on the Bucks for 8 years. He came in when he was 18, and they had a couple pictures that they posted up juxtaposing him when he came in to him now. I swear he grew probably like 5 inches, it feels like, and put on like 60 pounds of muscle. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And everyone's saying like, oh, he doesn't have a jump shot. He can't make free throws. They can say what they want, but they got to call us champs. Like it 17 of 19 from the free throw. And I like the conspiracy part of it because it looked like he might have intentionally missed that last free throw to put him at even 50, which coincidentally is the number of years since the last Bucks NBA championship. Just saying. Plus 50 is just such a perfect even number, you know?
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Nobody expected him to. He had to miss one at that point anyways.
I mean, I think I told you about the prop bets that I had, like the guy that I went with for the Nets game, like double or nothing. He makes both of them, and he never did. Like, had I done it this time, oh my gosh, bankruptcy. Ooh. Car, apartment gone. Seth stole all my memorabilia. On that note, though, I did want to say, I did really respect. Yeah, I mean, Giannis always speaks right from the heart. He always speaks exactly what he's thinking, and always a very classy person. But I really did like the quote that you're kind of alluding to. That, you know, a couple of years ago, you know, when I was watching them lose to the Heat, and I was like, this might be the last time, you know, I get to watch Giannis at this level. You know, like he there's a chance like he might, you know, get traded. Like he might not be a Buck. Like I was like really like kind of like losing my shit. Like Jess, my fiance, was asking like, why are you like they're losing this game 100%. Like this might be the last time I get to watch him in the playoffs. Like I might not get to see him as a Buck. Like if he gets traded, if he doesn't get a new contract, like he could easily, like you said, he could have easily went to a super team and, you know, did his part like KD, you know, got on a super team, went to the Lakers, whatever, and, you know, got a ring that way. But just, you could tell, like, even back then, like, you could tell how genuine he was when he said that. You know, when he got his MVP award and he was addressing, like, a crowd of thousands and thousands of people, he was like, this is great, but I want the next one. I want the championship trophy. This is a good start, you know. And, like, being able to do that with homegrown talent, you know, with it's something that they've built up. Like the Fiserv Forum still very new. The Deer District still very new. That whole renovated part of Milwaukee still very new. This whole plan came together, and Giannis made that happen. He had a commitment to the city. He didn't promise it, but he promised it, and it happened. He did, yeah. Small market, baby, like
prophecy. It was a prophecy.
The prophecy, BUCKSIN6. It was actualized, and it's still, like I said, it's hard to put into words, but the fact that, you know, he did it the hard way, he literally says those, I think, even in that clip that you're talking about, he literally said, like, he did it the hard way, and it's so much better, so much more gratifying. You know, a ring might be a ring to some players, but this one means so much more to him. And seeing him with both of his trophies, the Finals MVP and the O'Brien Trophy, just beaming ear to ear, man. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm so happy for him.
Yeah,
it's good for. I feel like it's good for the NBA too. I mean, because you got to admit, man, I think there was a lot of stats saying that this is the first NBA Finals without like Steph Curry, LeBron, Wade, and like Kawhi or something like that. Like the first one in like 18 years or something. Like it's nice to see. I'm not saying that Phoenix is a small market, but they're a much smaller market than, you know, New York, you know, LA, you know, Texas, Chicago, or Houston, like all them. Chicago, so like it's nice to see the little guys get some love, so props to him. And he also teased during the trophy acceptance speech, he was saying, he's like, still fresh off the win, like still on the court, still in his jersey, like we gotta do it again.
Oh really?
Yes.
God, you guys that makes me so frustrated, because we're talking about the Wolves are talking about getting Ben Simmons. That's our highlight for this. Like, do you wonder why I don't want to talk about us? That's why I prefer to talk about the Bucks. Now I'm screaming into a microphone, and nobody is here in this house that I'm in right now because of this. I'm screaming about nothing. But it's...
Technically, we position the podcast as a Minnesota-Wisconsin podcast, but it seems to be leaning a little more my way. Crazy stuff, bro.
Can you help it though? When you frickin' not only is the football team getting talked about every single day this summer, thanks to A-Raj, whether he likes it or not. Personally, I think A-Raj does like it. but okay, now you got the Bucks trotting through. Oh, hey, by the way, the Brewers are in first place. How about that?
It's baseball season now, y'all.
You guys have a hockey team. I bet your curling team
You
is
don't
in
have,
the Olympics.
You have a hockey team. I'm a Seattle Kraken fan now. Mm-hmm.
No, come on, you're a wild. No. Before we get off the rails too much, I'd be remiss to remind everyone that the 3M Open PGA Golf is taking place in Blaine, Minnesota. Kind of wanted to. I think last year at this time so the 3M Open's a popular event. Unfortunately, it is the week after the Open Championship across the pond in England. So not a lot of stars have come out to this event this year. Last year a couple years ago, I got some good video of.
I was gonna say you could probably get cheap tickets then if there's no one big playing.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
All right,
basically,
by fan request, I think you have to do your
quick six.
Yeah,
that's what I was getting to. Yeah, and I'm a little late to the game and doing research, but honestly, looking at who's teeing off and looking who's on the schedule, I got to go with Ricky Fowler. He's the only stud on the roster that I've seen thus far, besides like Gary Woodland, who's won a major. Granted, I got to go with Woodland too. Gary Woodland's at least won a major, so that's more cred, I guess, than thread. I just invented something. Much more cred than what Fowler's got. I'm going to go with those two. Beyond that, I mean, it's literally a horse apiece when it comes to guys. I like this guy Werenski. Nobody really knows of him yet, but Richie Werenski, kind of hard to pronounce.
Yannick Ngakoue.
I'm gonna go with Steve Stricker because he's from Wisconsin, and I just think that good karma might play out in a tournament here,
right,
especially in Minnesota.
4. Come on, baby.
That is 4. Oh God, I'm literally.
You're gonna have to go Google, aren't you?
No.
Yeah.
Duffner. Jason Duffner.
Oh, Jace.
Somebody that people's heard of, and another. So here. We'll end it with a local product, Eric Van Rooyen. He's technically, it says he's from South Africa, Eric Van Rooyen, but he was born in Minnesota, or he played for the Minnesota golf team. So
basically a Minnesotan.
He's basically a Minnesotan.
All right.
Pick those guys. You might win. If not, don't get mad at me.
I have his address.
But yeah, the PGA Golf is taking place in my neck of the woods, which is kind of cool.
And next year you'll be playing
not
in
as
it.
Cool. God, I wish. Albeit not as cool as what, John's feelings and the rest of the state of Wiz Champions.
I'm going to Disney World.
Wiz Champions. I honestly, you know what? While we're here and we still got some time on these precious, whatever, we can record till however we want. Did the odds change for the Packers to win the Super Bowl after that win? Because I would be all on the Packers to win the Super Bowl after this, and the Brewers to win the World Series. Why not?
Gosh. You think I give a crap about NFL right now? Are you kidding me? Until the 28th, I ain't worried about it, man. I ain't worried about it.
Yeah, fair.
It is nice though. This is honestly. Even before, I really got the feeling that the Bucks could really make a run, because we pay way too much for live TV streaming, and just because the playoffs were so darn good in the first round, I watched not just Bucks, but I watched more playoff basketball than I have in probably 10 years. I watched damn near every game. It feels like, and if I was able to, I was literally, I think I said this, I literally at a baby shower, streaming it on my phone, rough. At the airport, I as soon as my plane landed, I already had it up.
Wow.
It's good. Yeah, I was watching it in the car. It was very, very hooked. Very, very hooked. But no, it was great. I'm so happy that they won. Like I said, being able to witness 3 championships. I mean, I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm not a Lakers fan. I wasn't blessed with championship trophies coming out my butt, but. I mean, remember the conversation that we had about, is it better to be very competitive and good, but never quite get there? It's really hard, because if you can never get over that hump, it just feels like you're in a constant state of just you're not a treadmill team, but you kind of feel like you're a treadmill team. Like, you can't get that monkey off your back. You know, the Bucks making the Eastern Conference Finals, winning 2 games, and then losing the series. Yep. You know, being the highest or the best record in the NBA going into the bubble, getting bounced in the second round by an up and coming Heat team. Like, that's deflating, man. Like, it's deflating. And then this year, you know, you got new pieces you're trying to work into the lineup. You know, you got so many question marks, you know, with COVID coming back, and, you know, players randomly going out due to the COVID protocol, and it's a shortened season. It's a weird start to the playoffs, and then, you know, they started off with like a very, very like awkward first game against the Heat where they only won by 3 points, and, you know, all of a sudden now we're here. Like, it's a long road for the players especially, but like, it's a roller coaster for the fans, and like, just to have having it end the way you wanted it to the whole time, beyond all your doubts, beyond all the questions, beyond all the weird things that happened over the season, it is so gratifying. And to be blessed to be able to see it in person. I'm telling you, do not tell anybody this, Ace. I know I'm saying that live, but don't tell anybody this. That was the most emotional I've gotten outside of like family, you know, a death or something in the family. That's the most emotional I was since Favre's Hall of Fame speech. There was some waterworks, bro. There was some waterworks, no lie. Huh?
Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I know that if I don't tear up at my wedding, I'm gonna get slapped. So I'll have to. I'll just think of the championship, baby. Yeah. All right, that is our show. Thank you, Ace, for letting me gloat, letting me live and enjoy my moment. I have been on Cloud 9 since Tuesday, and I will probably be in that same spot for quite a while. This is very good. I'm going to enjoy every bit of it, just in case the 28th, Mr. 12 doesn't show up. Then I'll be back to pouting, grimacing, and grunting and groaning. But until then, we are the
Bucks, go!
champions.
Go, Bucks, go!
Did you see that stupid shirt?
Bucks,
That was
go.
the shirt they gave us. Unbelievable. All right, my friend. Thank you so much for doing the show with me and bearing with my
everything.
Yeah.
This was a good monologue, too. We kind of gave you like a full show to sort of encompass everything.
Correct.
As our listeners like it.
Correct. And now you can rest assured there'll be a lot less Bucks coverage. So if you're not huge into basketball, we can change gears. But I'm gonna ride this out for a little bit. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. As always, Ace Johnny here, wrapping up a wonderful NBA season. The sun is setting, but we will carry on. We'll be back next week. Take care, everyone. Thank you for listening. As always, please feel free to tell a friend, rate us, review us, whatever you can do, promote the show. We love doing it. We love having our listeners love what we do. Take it easy. Peace. BUCKSIN6. BUCKSIN6.
We'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losing. 'Cause we are the champions of the world. Go Bucks!
That's the show for this week. Check out Armchair Analyst on Twitter at AA Podcasts, on YouTube, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. If this wasn't enough, be sure to check out armchairpodcast.com for more. See you next week.